Welcome to Vision IGCSE classes for IGCSE AS and A-level students. So today we have to discuss IGCSE Physics paper 4 question from the February-March 2026 means this year paper. It's a question number 2. Here figure 2.1 shows that ship made of still floating on sea. So first part here is the equation that links the density, mass and volume. So I hope you might be knowing it's a density is equal to mass by volume. Fine. Here mass is in kg, volume is in meter cube. So density having unit kg per meter cube. Fine. Add these things. That's a value addition. Fine. Then nextly we have density of the still is given, which is 7,900 kg per meter cube, and we have a mass of a solid steel cube is 110 kg. Calculate the volume of steel cube. Fine. So volume, if you rearrange this whole formula here, it's a volume V is equal to mass by density. All right. So mass is 110 kg divided by 7900. Now use the calculator and here we'll get the volume straight away. 0.0139 meter cube will be the volume. Fine. Now the density of a sea water is 1030 kg per meter cube. State why solid steel cube sinks when placed in the seawater. Okay, so this theory part. Now here if you look at the density of the steel cube sink when placed in the seawater, it's because of steel cube sink, isn't it? And the steel is much denser than the seawater, right? And so weight is basically greater than the upthrust it receives. So I hope you might be knowing the shape of the shape. The upper part, if you look at it, it will be look like this one. Yeah. So why we do have this kind of shape? This is because it's a volume is increased, right? So when we increase the volume, automatically the density decreases, right? So that's why the density, the steel cube sinks because the density in this case is greater than the density of the water. And subsequently the question is why steel shape in the figure 2.1 float on the seawater? Because volume is increased, as I explained. So see, now all these kind of explanation and the visual things we have added on our website visionigcsc.com. okay, so it's kind of alternative to your existing books. Fine. Here if you go to the IGCSE resources and subject, you will be having mathematics and all subject papers, past papers are there here. So here if you go to the physics part, you will be having 7 sections. Fine. In the each section we have added all the topics. So if you go just a density part, all right, so you will see this node. Fine. Then even we have added all this upthrust part, the visualization and things like that. Even we have added the MCQs on each and every other topic. Okay. Then nextly the past year paper questions. So these questions, whatever we are discussing, we have added in the worksheet parts as well, so that it's you will get the better understanding of these kind of questions. Yeah. So and this is available for $20 for 2-year access, and it will really helpful for IGCSE students. Yeah. Then we'll jump back to our question. So here, yeah, so for this one you have to write that the steel cube sinks because density is greater than the density of steel greater than the seawater, or density of seawater. And second part means the fourth one here, it's basically we have to add that ship float because its average density is less than the water. Fine. And the upthrust from the displaced water equal to its weight. Fine. So the upthrust actually balances the weight. That's why it floats. Fine. These are the 2 reasons you have to write for this 2 mark. Fine. Then nextly the mass of the ship is 3.5 times 10 to the 7 kg. Ship accelerate at 0.75 meter per second square. Calculate the force which causes acceleration. Now we have a mass of the ship and acceleration. We have to calculate the force. So to calculate the force, we have a Newton's second law. Newton's second law, which says that F is equal to ma, and m is 3.5 times 10 to the power of 7 times 0.75 acceleration. So if you do the calculation in your calculator, we'll get 2.625 times 10 to the power of 7 Newton. Alright. So here then nextly explain why force provided by ship engine must be larger than the value we got here. Okay, so this is again application based practical question. So force always must be greater than the mass and acceleration, right? So why? Because water resistance, air resistance, frictional drag force. Fine, these are the reasons you have to mention here: water resistance, air resistance, and then frictional drag. All right, these are the reasons you have to mention. Fine, and you can write it like this: the engine force must be larger because the sum force is used to overcome the water resistance, air resistance, frictional drag, and the resultant force must cause the acceleration. That's the reason you add it. All right, I hope you got this explanation. Visit our website. Thank you.